So President Trump has been talking up the Space Force more and more often at rallies and events, but what will it be? Should we expect moon bases and intersolar battle cruisers, or will it be more akin to satellite repair crews? But most importantly, will we be developing lightsabers? This is the place where questions like that get pondered. This is where theoretical problems get theoretically solved. This is the place where no idea is a bad idea, except no ideas, and the ideas you haven't heard, because the more ideas you hear, the more likely you are to hear a good one. Welcome to the Brain Trust. Cassie and Placeholder joining me tonight. Good evening, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good.
And Placeholder's alive, I'm sure.
Yes.
We can hear him breathing sometimes. So
True.
So what do you guys think the Space Force is actually going to be? Are we going to be like shooting laser guns at like the Chinese and their little portable moon landers?
Can't have any military like in space.
Oh, hold on.
No,
this is the USSF.
In space.
But the USSF is a branch of the military.
It can be like the Coast Guard where it's not armed.
Oh, the Coast Guard is armed.
Coast Guard is all in the military, but they're not in arms. They're not the same way.
All right.
It's a different.
Can you recheck your connection there, Placeholder?
There's a treaty that we signed on during the space race that us and originally agreed on, except for North Korea, that there were to be no lethal weapons in space.
Babe, you're roboting. Really bad.
It's illegal.
I do believe that you're actually right about that. There aren't supposed to be weapons in space, but that can't be that there aren't bases. And the moon technically is not space. You could make an argument that the moon is the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Earth is the Earth, and no, hold on. If anything on the moon, once a moon base is established and people are living on the moon, if anything on the moon is in space, then anything on Earth is also in space. It's kind of like the Ender's Game concept that every direction is up.
Well, we're talking terrestrial and non-terrestrial.
Well, everything is in space. Earth is in space. And therefore, all Earth-based weapons are technically space weapons. They can be shot into space. Well,
right, but we're talking. Okay, so it's the way it's set up it's thought of in non-terrestrial. Mars is non-terrestrial. It's not terra firma. It's not Earth.
Okay, so the treaty is terrestrial, non-terrestrial weapons. So terrestrial beings can take weapons.
There are not to be any weapons on any satellites. There are not weapons that are on the moon.
I feel like I feel like a lot of countries might already be breaking that rule.
If they are, then that would be an international war.
Well, I don't know, because you see, China actually shot down an American satellite.
They do that.
A couple of years ago. Now, technically speaking, would that be a weapon in space?
That would be ground to air, essentially.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. That's a fair argument. That was a stupid question, but brain. No, this is a brainstorm. So there's actually not a whole lot of stupid questions out there. So what is the Space Force going to look like then? Is it going to be a bunch of ground-to-air missiles that shoot down satellites?
I think it's going to be an engineer corps, actually. I think there's going to be nothing but engineers and scientists, simply for the fact that they can do so much in space that they can't on Earth.
That's true. You can actually do a lot with anybody that's ever seen hydroponic food farming, the NASA programs, Yeah, if you go, if anybody, there's a NASA Stennis space program or Stennis space.
Botanists that might watch this, go to NASA.
Yeah,
Go join NASA.
You want to know about botany and hydroponics? Go to NASA. Those dudes have worked it down to. I mean, they've got light setups, different color shades for growing more productive plants, and yes, we're talking about tomatoes. My God, you freaking YouTubers and your pot and your memes and your dubsteps and God, I'm getting too old.
Old man yells at cloud.
But no, honestly, the amount of technology we can develop for feeding people in space, you're right, is absolutely enormous. Not to mention free solar power all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can go from okay, so in terms of societal progress with economic growth, we're marginally a positive sum. We consume essentially.
Yeah,
which is not how it works, but we grow faster than we consume. That's what I meant to say. And thus we produce more than we consume. So in space, if we can utilize that much space, which would be very easy without like blocking the sun or anything like that, because I know that's where most people's minds go. With the amount of satellites we're talking, a cloud of satellites around the Earth constantly shipping food to the surface. Can you guys imagine that?
I can imagine it being very hard to get back out there to harvest the stuff because there's so much shit in your way.
They're okay. So the containers that are sent are reusable. We've already proven that we can do that. So you put it away and you send the container back. And it just sends out another shipment.
There was a wonderful... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Or it goes to another satellite. For when it enters the airlock, it's sterilized, so maybe 15, 20 minutes downtime at that point. You can send food anywhere doing that. And we can all do that with the Space Force.
You know what?
Interstellar farmers.
We gotta have a one-on-one chat after. Actually, probably a 2-on-1 chat after we go off live. Have a little talk about something, but we'll go back into that later. But yeah, I could see food production. I don't really understand how that would be a military thing, though. Is food production? I get production for their own sustainability, yeah, but it's so commercially viable at that point.
You could allow after the technology is sufficiently.
Of course, Thunderfoot. You realize Thunderfoot's going to come in and kick our asses for saying that if he ever hears this, because he's going to be like, "Do you have any idea how much it costs to send a rocket into space?"
Well, yeah, it costs a lot, but if we have a military force that's doing it,
it doesn't cost less because
Elon Musk has launched rockets for the last like 8 fucking years. I get that it's expensive, but it's commercially viable now.
Elon Musk doesn't he own PayPal?
He sold out his shares.
Okay, well, he's got money to be able to pay for that.
He needs a massive fortune.
Doesn't he own Tesla?
He does, but he needs to stop tweeting on LSD.
Yeah, he's microdosing, you can tell. I'm not kidding. A lot of those guys up there do.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, if you go to the Silicon Valley, you'll find that the #1 DOT is microdosing on acid.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. That's a serious thing. Head of all the tech. I don't know. I've never taken acid.
Well, neither have I.
Oh, great.
No, I haven't. Like, I'm actually pretty clean cut for the for the character I portray. I have had I've had a lot of trouble with drinking, but not a lot of problems with drugs. I'm actually really pretty scared of them. I don't know if that was ground into me or if it's just because I've seen so many people that were on them and don't want to be those people.
See, I can't sit here and say I haven't tried them.
Oh no, I can't. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna pretend like I haven't tried drugs. I've tried pot, but that's about the limitation, and that was in my 20s.
No, I don't need to give
But
everybody my
anyway.
list.
Anyway, imagine how much hemp we could grow for industrial purposes in space.
Imagine how much hemp we could grow if we just started using it to revitalize broken down fields and fallow fields. Like
Sure, we could do that
if we
too.
had a federal program to say, look, let's grow industrial hemp to get your fields growing regular crops again, we'll do 2 cycles of hemp and your fields will be great because it's actually really good for that. And by the way, you can also sell these weeds and get a bunch of money for them. So, imagine how much we could do if we just did that. And at the end, guess what else? We can go back to producing wheat and corn and bananas and shit.
Well, why when we
don't
can
produce
just
bananas,
repurpose that land for industrial purposes once we've
No,
solved?
oh my God, what is wrong with you?
But why would you? We could have perfect crops.
Have you ever seen farmland? Look, if you're going to destroy nature and build something for humankind, make it farmland. That at least looks pretty.
I grew up surrounded by corn. I hate farmland.
I love it. I could drive for miles looking at the rice fields outside of Houston.
Yeah, you're in Georgia, where
But no.
it's like the fucking hills have eyes here, right?
Oh
No.
yeah. You have to drive over. No, you can't see for more than a mile here. There's so many fucking hills in Georgia. It's ridiculous. In Houston, you can see for miles. You can see like 20 miles out. It's just flat. Everything's flat.
Question: why would we continue to do something that we have made obsolete?
Because it's beautiful.
If we are able to utilize if we're able to utilize local asteroids, we can have all of the nitrogen and water we would ever need in order to do this.
Okay, let me answer your question with another question. Do we have the ability to take a digital photograph of somebody that's so realistic you would swear they were there if it was life size? Yeah, we do. So why do people continue to paint portraits? Because it's beautiful.
We're not talking about private gardening. I get that. We're talking about industrial farming.
Yeah, okay.
Why would we destroy the environment with industrial farming when we can just have satellites do it for us?
Well, okay,
completely AI controlled, no humans.
I don't trust the AI. They're gonna poison our food and kill us, I swear. We need a space force. They're gonna be like, humans need more iron. Put more iron. Humans need more cyanide. Put more cyanide.
Okay, that could happen, but it's not as likely as it going the way we want it to go because we're pretty good at this sort of thing.
Pretty likely. I would say when you start using the excuse, we're pretty good at this sort of thing. That's like the redneck going, "Hey, y'all watch this." It's the first statement that lets you know something bad is about to happen. I'm sorry, man. No. Do go on. I do believe that industrial farming on a large scale in space is a brilliant idea. Like I said, I definitely want to talk to you about this afterwards. But as far as the Space Force goes, I don't think they'd be doing that. I think that they're going to be totally breaking the space arms treaties. And I think they're going to be doing it, and in the same time they're doing it, they're going to call out all the other nations that have done it as well. They're going to be like, look, we're up here now. We're investigating. You guys all broke this treaty too. We got it. Look, China, we've captured your satellite with the rods of God.
Okay. That's not space, though. It was a low altitude satellite.
Oh yeah, see, this is where semantics will get in and save us with the Space Force. It's low Earth orbit.
Yeah. It was in low Earth orbit. It was technically not in space.
So how much of the
It was
Space Force
within
is
the
going to be?
atmosphere.
How much of the Space Force is going to employ international lawyers?
Oh, constantly. They will have an entire division of nothing but lawyers.
Yes.
The Pentagon is going to suddenly become a hexagon.
You know, it'll be so good that there will be a Pentagon 2 because Pentagon was so great.
No, you know what? In classic Trump style, they're just going to build a tower right up the middle. Like, fuck a sixth arm. We're gonna give it a stiffy right up the middle. This is the Space Force, upward looking. And you know what? They're gonna finish it ahead of schedule and under budget.
Ahead of schedule, under budget.
Okay, so I honestly, this is what I'm thinking about when I think about the Space Force as of right now. Like when you think about satellite weaponry and satellite surveillance and all that, what is the modern military, manned or unmanned? You know, I'm kind of in placeholders field in the fact that AI is going to control a lot of these weapons. AI is going to control a lot of the satellites and so forth and so on. But the guys that go up there, I imagine them as kind of overweight plumber types who would normally install your cable or your home satellite. I'm not kidding, like bending over, like butt cracks showing, and they're like just screwing in the little bolt on the rods of God. They're like, oh, I got to put this tungsten steel rod in here, you know, and clamping it down.
Yeah, they'd be like with Futurama jetpacks.
Futurama jetpack. Okay,
Which
and
we can begin to develop stuff like that.
so we are we saying yay or nay on the moon base? We got 3 people here.
Oh yeah, we absolutely have to have a base on the moon.
Yeah.
We have to be the first to have a base on the moon.
Can we call it Isla Luna,
That would be interesting.
the island of the moon?
Mm-hmm.
I think we should. I'm putting in the official argument that when we build a moon base, it should be called Isla Luna or Isla Luna. Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no. There will be lethal weaponry on the base. Every military base has to have one, but it's not going to be weapons capable of striking the Earth. That's specifically stipulated within the treaty.
Okay.
So they can be armed. They can have small.
Hold on. What kind of small arms are we talking about? Are we talking about projectile weapons or energy-based weapons?
Yeah. We can use lasers, but they won't be very effective for a while.
Here's the problem with projectiles.
Because we can still use slugs.
Somebody grown up.
Base.
I grew up in Texas with a lot of gun culture, and you got to understand that there's this thing called the background. Okay, you got to look at the background when you're shooting, and the background is this is a thin little piece of glass that separates you from the vacuum of space. And I just want to illustrate this for you for just a moment. The idea of missing a target and hitting that little piece of glass and then getting sucked out like alien resurrection style.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Not pretty. Not pretty. And bad acting from one of my favorite actresses. Seriously. Winona, get your shit together.
Oh, dear.
It's a personal gripe. Ever since that shit with Richard Gere, no, I'm done with you. I'm done. We can't talk anymore. Besides, I'm married now.
Okay, so to address the question that you're asking, first off, you wouldn't want to get into a dogfight in space.
No.
Period.
No.
Because you cannot keep track of every single casing that comes off of your ship. You can't keep track of every piece of debris from the downed pilot Period.
Yeah, and can you imagine
Don't have
walking?
computers that can do that yet.
Can you imagine walking around outside your front yard? You're just chilling, just like, oh, hey, look, there's the neighborhood dog. And boom, you get hit with a bullet from space
Yep.
because of a dog fight that you had nothing to do with.
Well, bullets, they break up in the atmosphere.
You know what?
It's
You know
not.
what?
It doesn't
Shut
have
up.
sufficient mass or velocity to break through the atmosphere. Friction gets it. It gets eaten.
Shut up, man. You're screwing up my analogy. I'm trying to sell an agenda here. You're stepping all over it.
Hey, doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, I sound like CNN. My bad. Anyway,
But no, that's part of why there are not supposed to be lethal weapons in space. Like, you have to think about space entirely differently. There is no up. So you have to think about flying very differently because you have nothing, you don't have anything that you feel coming back from the ship. So you don't get jostled about. There's no friction. That's the issue. So they have to have separate training, and that's training in space because we can't simulate frictionlessness on Earth. Weightlessness, sure. Frictionlessness, absolutely not. But it takes a lot more training than we have time for in terms of it being militarily viable. And you would be walking into a minefield as soon as you blew up your target because you would get shredded.
well, let me go ahead and drop some knowledge on you guys because I did a little bit of research for this particular subject, and I know it's lame, but I actually read some stuff that includes some facts, and I wanted to throw them out there for you. One of the big problems with space travel, believe it or not, this is absolutely true, is getting rid of the heat that
Yes.
you generate. A lot of people think that if you don't have life support, you immediately freeze. That's not true. Okay, Apollo 13 was accurate, but those guys were up there for like 3 days before it got like that. Okay, getting rid of the heat takes a while. It takes a long, long freaking time, in fact, because there are 3 methods of losing heat. There is convection. Help me out if I'm wrong. Placeholder, check me. Convection, induction, and radiation.
I think so, yeah.
And
Yeah, that's correct.
convection and induction basically require you to come in contact with another particle in some form or another to transfer heat to that particle. And the only other way to lose heat is through radiation, and that's where you just kind of steadily lose heat slowly over time. Well, in space, there's no materials that you're rubbing against. You're in the vacuum of space. There's no oxygen. There's nothing up there. So you're not inducing and you're not conducting anything. So you're
Thank you, Thurg.
only radiating. The only way you have to lose heat is radiation. Conduction. Yeah. There you go. It's not induction, it's conduction. Thank you, Thurg. But I knew that sounded wrong. But I think that the way the Space Force is going to have to work is going to be heat-based weaponry. It's not going to be projectile weaponry because you can't control it. Like you said, frictionless space. You can't control where that's going to end up. But you can heat somebody up with the laser. And that's at the speed of light, and it's really hard for them to cool down. So you heat them up to an intolerable heat, and then you demand surrender. And if they say no, then you burn them alive.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to have lasers that are far more intense than we currently have, but it's feasible. It would just be very cumbersome.
No. Have you? Oh my God, dude! You got to keep up with laser technology. We've got some pretty powerful lasers.
I saw this one that they used at like what was it, like 45 miles away, and it like set
Okay.
a ship on fire or whatever.
You realize that we can shoot lasers at the moon, have them bounce off of things and come back?
Yeah, and that's actually in violation of the treaty.
Yeah, but when civilians do it, they didn't sign the treaty.
Well, no, if it's scientists doing it to take measurements, that's one thing. But if they build a giant reflection disk,
No, no. What I'm saying is we built lasers that can shoot to the moon and back and register and say, okay, this is the distance.
I know, but that's taking a measurement. I said that.
I'm just saying we have lasers of that high magnitude.
Well, distance isn't really much of an issue with light. If you can track where the photons are, you're fine. And we have computers that aim all the time, all the time back to the moon. And
while some scientists have discussed defining their own standards for time on the moon, the manned moon landing.
Leave that. No. Why did you stop that? Why did you stop? Keep going. Do it. Seriously. Play it. I want to hear it.
sorry about that. I don't know why I started doing that.
Because it wanted to.
Oh,
it was beautiful.
I said its word.
Yeah. Babe,
I
you might want to change that.
We really need to have some background dialogue on you guys in your secret language, so I can keep up.
What is our secret language?
Oh no, I have an Alexa in my room, and I changed its wake word to a common word that I didn't think I used that commonly.
You realize that
Star Trek.
The most upsetting thing about that statement to me is the fact that you have an Alexa in your room.
I haven't muted most of the time.
I would have shot it by now.
Alarm clock. That's all it does.
I would have shot it by now and bought an alarm clock.
I have 2 Alexas in my room, and my kids have
my God.
in there.
Oh,
No, Dolphin, I want to yell at my alarm clock in the morning to shut it off.
No,
I don't want to have to get out of bed. I just want to yell at it. It'll shut off. But no, we have instruments that are specifically designed to send and receive laser information, because distance isn't much of an issue with a laser. It's intensity of the laser. I know we have intense lasers, like very powerful lasers, but the amount of time required, yeah, that too. We couldn't weaponize it in the way you're thinking. Like, I don't think we can weaponize it the way Star Trek has it, honestly.
No, of course not. Their lasers like move sideways and like torusly around the ship and then like beam out into it. No, that's not how light works.
Well, I mean, we could actually beam a phaser stream anywhere, like as a sniper, because we can move photons that way. We would just have to have very accurate measurements for it. We can weaponize teleporters, by the way.
Oh yeah.
There's no reason why we can't teleport it while it's in motion.
I've actually read up on that, and the math and the science is all there. The idea that you'll be anything like the person that you were when you left is not. But hey, it's a beautiful idea. Yeah, you can weaponize the shit out of that.
Oh, you can do so much with that. And we can utilize them in the Space Force.
Yeah, and that was the thing that, okay, so we're talking Space Force. We have to touch on the ultimate question, Star Wars versus Star Trek. And I have to say, grudgingly, Star Trek, because of teleporters. Like, literally, they just teleport a bunch of torpedoes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, look at this. you teleport a bunch of torpedoes onto the bridge of the Death Star, and you blow them up. You can teleport shit. They
They have
can't do
deflector
that.
shields.
To what? Bounce the shit around inside?
No. Shields block teleporters, dude.
Do they? I thought
Mhm.
they only did that when they understood that teleporters were a thing.
No, like Star Trek has deflector shields and they interrupt teleporters.
Yeah, but Star Wars has just rear shields and front shields, and they don't have deflector shields for teleporters.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They're not
The Death
phasing.
Star had deflector shields.
They're not phasing deflector shields that block both phasers and teleporters.
We don't know the properties of the Star Wars deflector shields.
You know what? We're gonna get into a nerd rage here, and
Yep.
my
And
anger,
I'm gonna say,
my anger
gonna
management specialist tells me I shouldn't do that.
I'm gonna just sit here and enjoy it. You have no idea how yeah.
Cassie's gonna be jacking it. Rubbing it to placeholder and I. What is this? What are we manning up to each other here?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Let's do this shit. I'm ready.
But no, we don't know the properties of the Death Star's deflector shield. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere out there in the extended universe. I don't know if they canonized it.
I'm pretty sure when they basically tractor beam everything that comes within range in, you could basically just teleport some torpedoes right inside their range and just let them pull it in. I don't think they're gonna fight you on it.
Well, hey, you know what we could do?
What's that?
We don't even need to do that. We can just combine projectiles with their stupid warp speed version of bullshit, like they did in The Last Jedi.
Oh no! We're not crossing that line. We're not.
No, babe.
Star Trek.
I'd like to take this moment to point out that the Academy Debate channel is a serious channel that talks about philosophy. We have a great deal of wonderful material in our library about famous philosophers, famous philosophy, and brilliant thinkers from all the generations, and Placeholder is not among them.
Oh, God.
In any way, shape, or form.
I was just talking about the physics of it. It makes no sense.
That's the point.
It makes no goddamn sense why they wouldn't just do that to begin with.
Yeah, no. I get you there. We are not supporting anything. Look, the Disney
just criticizing a movie.
I'm gonna put it this way, and I'm gonna say hashtag Star Wars fans if you agree. But Star Wars doesn't belong to Disney. They might have bought the rights to produce the movies.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what that means.
But what is canon and what is important to the story is up to the fans to decide. Boom.
No.
Hashtag Star Wars fans.
Oh, God, no.
And from now on, Star Wars canon shall include every woman shall dress as slave Leia.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, if that's how it worked, but no.
Like, if that's how it worked, but I know how it works, and that's not how it works.
But anyway, no, like, you could do all sorts of neat things with teleporters and a military force. Like a proper military force. We would not turn into Star Trek. We would probably turn into Starship Troopers a little bit.
I can see that. And
you want to know more?
I actually thought about using Starship Troopers as our intro, but I didn't want them to take my jobs. Fucking aliens. Sorry. I had to be a little it technically is xenophobic.
Yeah, in the most literal sense.
In the most literal sense, yes. Yeah. Damn bugs is taking our jobs. They figured out how to make silk better than we can. Anyway.
Can you imagine encountering an alien species with the Space Force?
I don't think it would end well for us.
Well, it depends. We would have to quarantine them because of contamination, and see how painfully they die because of local organisms.
I would like to believe that our Space Force would lead to something that you might see in the game series Mass Effect. I would love that future for humanity, to meet the Quarians and say, you know what? This is what we do when the galaxy dies. I don't know. I think a lot of might think me a cynic, but I'd like to hope for humanity. I'd like to think that we're going to live on for the next billion years, but we probably won't.
Well, I mean, Earth DNA may survive, so in a sense, we might.
Oh, Earth will be fine. Earth will still be here for the next 5 billion years before our sun's gravitational force pulls it in, or the collision between Andromeda and the Milky Way annihilates it in 2 billion years. But that's a long way off. 2 billion years with a B. And we might not even be affected by that. There's a good chance we won't. And we'll just end up in the mega cluster Andromeda way, or whatever it is. I don't know. Either way, it'll be interesting.
I wonder what the galaxy is going to look like once it settles down.
Dark, cold.
Well, yeah, but full
of Starship Troopers who worship the God Emperor Trump that they know nothing about, but came from ancient history.
That's kind of what my imagination does, because like.
And by the way, I only say that because we're talking about the Space Force. Go on, the placeholder.
Yeah. But it's just like, okay, so are we going to turn into Starship Troopers or Warhammer 40K?
Oh, wow, that would be pretty cool. I would like, you know what?
Oh, God. You have me thinking now. Which one's better?
This is what happens when you give gamers a stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Speaking of which, it seems like a good time to plug. You guys think it's a good time to plug?
Sure.
Okay, fine. Well, the Brain Trust meets every Wednesday night through Google Hangouts on the Academy Debate channel here on YouTube at 11 p.m. New York time. We keep an open door for anyone with a microphone, a helpful disposition, and at least one idea, so don't be afraid to ask if you can join and hope that there's room. Tonight, there's plenty of room. But next week, and you guys, I am so excited to tell you guys. You guys are the first to know, and the first to get to comment since you're in the stream with me. Next week's topic will be, let's make a meme. Okay, it's a totally no. I'm just no. It's gonna be. This is gonna be so fun. You guys are gonna have. This is going to be screen...
Absolute cancer. Cease this degeneracy.
Screen sharing insanity. And we are just going to meme everything that I put on the screen one by one by one. And if you would like to see your image that you want to see memed up on the screen, you can go ahead and hit me up on Twitter at dolphin_radio_. Bam. Just shoot me a link. Just be like, bam, here, I want to see this. You guys got to meme this. It's too fucking funny. Please meme it. So it's auto meme. Everyone's invited. I'm going to hold the door at 5 slots, though. We got 3 tonight. We'll have 5 slots on next week. when it is create a meme, and it's brainstorming memes. It's going to be so much fun. You guys are going to seriously. My Bob himself and I talked about this. This is going to be the greatest, most fun show ever.
So, are we talking like creating the literal rarest Pepe ever?
No. What we're going to do is we're just going to turn.
I haven't even made it yet.
It's going to be so rare that we haven't even thought about it now. What I'm going to do is you guys are going to see images that you haven't seen that should be memes. And by the way, if you're contacting me on Twitter with that image that you want to, be in this thing, make sure that it's one that's not already a meme. Okay, that's kind of the thing.
Also, no nudity.
Yeah, no nudity. Yes. We are an educational channel. Like I said, we have a lot of great content in our library about famous philosophers, famous philosophies. We are an educational channel. So please keep that in mind. And send your images that you want memed to us because we will meme them. I might open it up to 6, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Cool.
In the meantime,
Cancer.
I know it's gonna be great. I really would love to get some some great memers in here.
So we're looking for people from R9K.
You know what? I want Bob Caustic. Have you guys seen Bob Caustic on Twitter?
No, but I work every day, so I don't really have time.
I'm pretty sure it's just like a commercial account, and all it does is put out puns on a day-to-day basis. It is hilarious. Check out Bob Caustic. He's funny.
I love puns.
He's
form of humor.
Exactly. Dad jokes.
Oh, yeah. Especially like the groaners. Oh.
Dude, Bob Caustic is the king of dad jokes. That's why I'm subbed to him. I love Bob Caustic. He's my dude. He's my fellow dad. Anyway, so back to the Space Force for just a minute because we're coming in on 45 minutes. Will we be developing any kind of new technologies? And if so, what will they be? Cassie.
Oh, God.
I want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, let's put the girl who's not in...
Oh, cosplay, tell me you don't know about 500,000 different weapons that you can name off the top of your... I can wake you out of a dead sleep and you could name 300 weapons off the top of your head. Don't give me that shit.
Besides the point. But here's my question is what type of weaponry? Do we want to go with steampunk or do we want to go with...
Oh my God. Oh, this is what happens when you ask a cosplayer a legitimate question.
No, guys, we're going to go like...
Okay, let's move beyond the LARP.
Why? LARPing is fun.
Yeah, but you got to eventually move into Q territory. So let's go beyond the LARP and let's talk about, legitimate. What kind of weapons? I'm sorry. What kind of weaponry are we looking at here?
So,
Cassie. Okay, you know what, placeholder. I'll let you go in.
Yes.
Sorry, I want to answer the original question, which is what kind of new technologies. At first, it won't be new stuff; it will be existing stuff getting better. So, computers. As soon as we establish space bases, fuck. Hang on a second. I need to stop talking. God damn it! I need to change this word. There we go. Quantum computers will get really, really good, really, really fast.
Because you can keep them cold.
Yeah, we can run them in space. Like, we don't have... It can be self-contained.
See,
it can run on solar energy. We can have constantly running quantum computers. just giant banks full of them. And we have the space.
Can I hook
because
up
it's space?
Yeah, I know, but can I hook up to them and like download porn still?
I mean, I'm sure they'll be arranged into some kind of network where it'll be like computing as a service, essentially.
Okay, so do we want to go with USSF?
I like the idea of USSC and call it the Space Corps instead of the Space Force.
You know what? I really like that. I really, really like that.
Yeah.
USS.
And then it becomes a branch of the UN. It becomes the UNSC. And then Halo begins.
You know what?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You know what? I'm going to throw a fucking plasma grenade on you just for that shit. Right there.
No, you're not.
Don't worry, he'll respawn after 30 seconds.
That's all right. I'll hit him with a needler and teabag his body.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Halo 2 dual-wielding needlers was way OP. Run over him with a warthog, too. Uh-oh, I think I killed him.
You're not only killing him, Maps.
Bitch. For the record, I was drinking when he said that.
Oh, even worse.
I was like to apologize, but that burned.
Oh god.
Oh shit!
Sorry, buddy.
Oh my god!
Are you okay?
Are you right?
I can smell it.
Ew.
I don't know if it's ever gonna go away.
You broke him. You broke him.
Oh god! It's just Pinot Noir for miles. Oh, the worst part was it like dripped out of my nostril. Do you have any idea how fucking mind altering that is?
Oh, I bet I can imagine. Like,
Oh my god.
I
Oh,
did not
you
mean
son
to
of a
flood your
bitch.
sinuses.
Oh dear.
You sprayed it out your nose, didn't you?
A little bit. You know what? There are a couple drops on the monitor stand in front of me.
Oh dear.
And
Oh.
they're dark maroon, so I know they're wine. And they didn't come out my mouth, they came out my nose, and I hate you for that.
But goddamn, was it funny?
It was good at the. You know what's funny? I don't even remember the joke. It was just bad timing. You son of a bitch.
No, it was excellent timing.
I'm terrified. Like, I see the rest of this wine in the glass, and I'm terrified to drink it. You're gonna say some shit the minute I do.
This is like the third time this has happened, right?
I could cure my alcoholism right now by just staying on this stream and never drinking again because I'm afraid of it.
Okay, next time you drink, just think of that sensation.
Wow, that burns. Oh my God, that hurt.
Well, at least you know that you're not going to have a sinus infection anytime soon.
Probably
Yeah.
not. It's pretty sterile.
Yep.
Oh.
No, the worst part is you can't breathe for like 30 seconds. You're just like, what the fuck? That's a lot longer than you think. It's almost as if you're in space in some sort of force.
Okay, so is it the weak force, the strong force, the living force, or is it?
What kind of force shall we give them? No, okay. So let's give an up and down vote. We got 3 people here. We can get a positive majority, 2/3. Okay, so the vote is: will the Space Force be ship troopers, A, or B? And yes, I'm only giving you binary. Will it be computer repair guys?
At first, or like period?
Period. Is it gonna be interstellar plumber butt, or is it gonna be starship troopers?
Oh god.
I mean, I would like Stormship Troopers, but it's gonna be Corps of Engineers, and it's probably gonna
Yeah.
be like a core of that core.
So you're saying interstellar plumber butt?
I kind of
Basically,
think there's going to be interstellar plumbers and electricians and maintenance staff.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the official,
But they're going to be developing new technology doing it, so it's worth it.
the official symbol of the United States Space Corps will be a stylized Y, because it looks like a butt. All right. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you all for joining us here on the Brain Trust. Be sure to join us next week and jump into the chat, because we will be watching that like very vigorously next week for the create a meme. Our wonderful brainstorming about making memes out of images, and shoot any images you want over to me at Dolphin Radio on Twitter, and I'll check them out, bring them onto the show if they're good enough, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, good night, good luck, and Cassie and Playsolar, why don't you two talk us out?
Okay. So thank you all for coming. Those of you that came, and those of you that watch later. When we stayed on track, it was fun. So come back next week. Doing finger guns, you can't see me.